thing saying you need something and people are walking by you, you're invisible, and I mean,
Yeah, I've been there. Yes, of course. It's nothing worse is like if you've been left in the hall of a hospital on a gurney and you're just a regular, you're just a down and out addict or an alcoholic, no one even sees you. You're just laying there could be for hours. They don't even acknowledge you as
and then when they see you content.
A lot of contempt, yes. Yeah. So, but then you have to see that you made a decision. You didn't, but there was a decision made on self. You drank at this fucking party. Yeah. That puts you in a position to be pulled over, and you had alcohol in you, and they arrested you. Yeah. So you can't say, oh, they just arrested me out of the blue. There was things that happened before that set you up for the arrest, right? So you get to see at least what your not's role is. Because it likes to start...
What you're saying is making me feel guilty. I mean, I know that it's...
But it's not what you are.
Yeah.
See, the idea again, it pops up and claims to be the one that did it. You see, this is the stubbornness of it. We talk about it for years. The stubbornness of it, you just watched it. You block it and then it goes and now it's you again. Oh, now you're gonna feel guilty for that. No, the decision that was made wasn't made by you. It was made by the mental state, and you become the recipient of the consequences because of this dreaming. Yeah, you had nothing fucking to do with it. You drank. Yeah, you were driving. Cops go by. While people are driving in Half Moon Bay, you got pulled over because you were probably moving a little bit based on the alcohol, not on you, but the alcohol intake, and you get pulled over. Yeah. Now, there's a thing you can do. There's so many skillful means. Don't try to use non-duality as a skillful means, really. It's going to frustrate you. Because self can't get out of self. So when self wants to get out of self and then it tries to say, well, there isn't a self, it doesn't work. I've seen it. I've tried it myself years ago. I did. That's what the first thing, all the stuff that I try to describe, I've witnessed, even in my own experience or others or in downloads, I've witnessed exactly what we're talking about. Yeah.
But it kind of sounds like that's what you're saying, like that was you. And I'm jumping to, okay, not the self or whatever the words are.
Yeah, see, but it wasn't you, but then the idea of you tries to grab it as a way to get out of you because you're feeling fucking...
I'm trying to feel better, so I'm trying
of course you want to feel better. So maybe what's the best thing you can do is do service for some other people. Go and do work at the soup kitchen tomorrow, or wherever you can...
We're going to homeless and...
Far out, and you just do that, and I'll tell you, it will work better than all your little maneuverings to get out of it as you. It won't work well. Yeah. The tried and true methodology is service, really. It's ancient. Yeah. If you want to get, quote unquote, get out of something that you think you're in, temporarily, service is probably the best means.
And an interesting experiment that worked for me is falling asleep or wanting to fall asleep, thinking about other people being comfortable sleeping. Sleeping well. And it doesn't necessarily mean I will fall asleep, but it could work as well as some of the other tactics of feeling my body parts and stuff like that.
I would just be jealous of that.
Yeah, you can't force yourself on it. It kind of comes and comes, but...
I'll try for everything. Okay.
How about nothing? Try nothing.
Well, I'm trying to...
No. Try nothing. Let it catch up to you. Yeah.
But I just can't sit still with the like...
Who can't sit still?
Okay, well, how can I answer this? Don't get in trouble.
No, it's no trouble. But exactly, because
right here, and there's like this almost shaking of how stupid I was.
The action figures flipped out. You got and it's assuming it could have been different and all what it all does. It's like a gymnastic meet that you've seen before. You've seen the music and the tumbling like this, and then the 10s or the 9s. You've seen it thousands of times. And you're not that, yeah. So let it catch up to that, and then feel as much as you can feel, hey, I am really that, and you'll see you're not. Yeah, you're before it. Yeah, you are before it. Can you imagine who was asking you about enlightenment, all right? If you're enlightened and a DUI has fucking thrown you off your game, that ain't enlightenment. So you might as well cancel your subscription to future enlightenment because you know what I mean? So enlightenment has nothing to do with this. Enlightenment is just something that can move through an action figure. May not even stay long, yeah. It may be there momentarily, may be there for years, but it isn't the action figure. It never was, it never will be. It's just a possibility that's available here, yeah. Yeah, but not to you. So, I feel for you, so if you want to get out of that, just do service, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best way. I swear, because you've got too much knowledge in your head. It's just gonna... It's going to make it worse. It really is. I've watched it so many times. I mean, one of the first times I gave a talk to a spiritual group, a guy, he was right up here. He had been reading so many books of non-duality because he was flipping out or something. And I just told him, don't come back to the next meeting. You know, fucking go to a soup kitchen. Don't help any family members or anyone you know. Just go and help a stranger, and it'll be better than fucking reading another book or coming to this talk. It will. Because what you want is relief now. Yeah? Yeah. What you want is relief now. Yeah? But like in now meaning of time. Yeah? You want to change a feeling that seems to be happening now. And you're afraid of more feelings sort of in the same strain that will happen later, yeah? It doesn't work, you know? Non-duality is not of time, yeah? So it will bring about, I would say, a relief, but not when you most need the relief, yeah? There'll be a relief from all that, yeah? You'll be relieved of the need to be liberated. You'll be relieved of having to get out of how you feel. You'll be relieved of all that. You'll let things happen, and you'll greet it at first instead of fucking denying it or trying to move it off the stage immediately. There'll be an acceptance of what's going on, and then see how you're moved instead of a fucking denial of what's going on. There'll be the first greeting of what's happening will be acceptance, and then take it from there, and you'll see where it goes. Yeah. But if you're feeling like it could have been different in doing that, and it's the self that's feeling that, just follow the self. So there was a decision based on that to go to that party and to drink, yeah? And it puts you in a position to be hurt later, which is getting pulled over by a cop. It's a perfect description we have in the big book. You know, things will happen seemingly without provocation. You got pulled over. But if you look at what happened, you'll invariably find there was a decision made from self that puts you in the position to get arrested. So at least you can cut out all the blaming and all this shit out of it. You'll just see it as almost mechanical. Yeah. So there you go. Maybe it'll motivate you not to drink and drive.
Well, that's definitely happened.
Well, there you go.
I'm pretty drunk straight now.
Well, and the thing is, maybe the end just justifies whatever means there is. Because maybe you would be a danger one night being drinking and driving. And maybe a much larger jackpot was ready for you. And this is sort of a nice early warning you can get off that trail. See, when shit starts happening physically and stuff, something's trying to communicate to you, I feel. Something's trying to get the action figure's attention. So because I always see it as a optimistic, I'm into it, you know. I'm not having those things that much anymore, but I'm optimistic because I usually key into what it's trying to tell me before it has to get to the fucking severity of like, all right, I gotta have this guy be run over twice in one night to get his attention. you know, it's not that drastic anymore. I can get, okay, I'm gonna veer off this, yeah, so. But let's go to the topic at hand, which, of course, it can be helpful, but that's not its intent. Its intent is just a factual basis. It's produced it's sort of offered as an idea, but it's factual in a sense. There is not two. And then basically all you need to do is iron out what happens when what you're not hears about what it's not, you know, or what it is. And you can get all the warnings of, all right, so there's an act of being identified as something that I'm not aware of, yeah? And so to the point that I'm really keen on listening to me about what I am as a topic from what I'm not. I mean, it's like mind candy. I love to hear what I am. All I am is consciousness, but as what I'm not, yeah? And so you see it. You start seeing the pitfalls of this, entertaining this idea, because it's so tricky. You're the obscuring agent. Something isn't obscuring your view. This is the obscuring of the view. This. So whatever, the observation distorts what's ever observed. That's your role, observation. So sometimes you're the observed and you're distorted. Yeah, look to the extreme of people with anorexia. They actually believe their arms are like this when they're like that. They truly see themselves visually like this. And even when it's proven with tape and everything, their arms like this, how they see themselves in the mirror is like a fucking skinny or too heavy or something. Maybe the other way, yeah. So they're thinking they're fat when they're like a fucking pencil. They're not thinking it, it's actually, they're perceiving it in the mirror. It's gone past just thinking, it's actually really has infected the perception, yeah? And they can hear that, no, you fucking, they don't, no. They see it as, my arm's too big, too fat, yeah? So perceptions aren't real. They're not, yes. They can be changed, they can be altered. Put on a pair of sunglasses, you change everything. You change, the whole world looks different with one of those happy tinted sunglasses. You know, it's a darker colors come out, and it may even be better than what you usually see the sky as, yeah? I mean, that's how easy it is. Cheap glasses can change how you see physically, you know, perception. I mean, it can be, there's people that study years and years of how to manipulate the herd by hitting them with something that's not true so quickly and so many times in a fast succession, the system takes it to be its own product and it gets fucking righteous about it. When they have no knowledge of it, they just know it's true, but that knowing has been manipulated, yeah? I mean, this whole experience is programmed and manipulated up the wazoo, yeah? You can think about next week, if there's faith in those thoughts, and it will color tonight, well, which is mind-boggling if you really looked at it. Next week has no reality other than what we give it. And our power can be so that we can bring next week and have it override today. Quite frequently, a lot, yeah. To the point where we don't even recognize today anymore. We think today is just chock full of yesterday and tomorrow. We think it's just a big smorgasbord of possibilities that actually override what's actually happening, you know. Just anything we can imagine, you know, can override my experience here, or the experience here. That's incredible to me. It blows my mind. All these things, they're not just statements. What do they imply? This is manufactured. We're dreaming, if you want to put it in that case. If you hear a couple of examples, it leads to dreaming. That's the only way you can basically hold it here if you're going to communicate to someone with words, it's dreaming. Yeah, and then you want to be clear, it's not a dream, it's not a thing that we went into and a thing we're going to get out of. It's dreaming. And the dreaming entails everything that's happening. Even the idea that we're out of the dream is dreaming. Yeah? So the dreaming is what the dreamt is never outside the realm of dreaming. Because it only appears in dreaming, the dreamt. Yes? So if you believe you're outside of the dreaming and you can be seen like this, it's a mistake, you know. Raman, I feel, implied it in a famous little metaphor where there's a person sitting in a movie theater and he sees the unreality of the movie, but there's an assumption, subtle, that he's real. He's real sitting in this thing, seeing the unreality. When Ramana says the circle's bigger, it includes him feeling that he's real, and that's not. That's part of that's not. There's a lot of this is real and that's not. There isn't just that's not and this is real. This is real is an appearance and that's not. It's not like a separate, you haven't moved in duality to an untouchable shore that's not affected by its opposite. No. Yeah? This is real and that's not. This is real and that's not. That's an appearance, yes? Yeah. So whatever can be perceived can't be perceiving. End of fucking story. I mean, it's one of the greatest. Let's say if you were on a year retreat and that was said the first day, you'd have 364 and 19 hours free. Yeah, good. It could have that weight. Whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. But yet, the language I'm listening to all day implies or assumes I'm what's perceiving. Yes, of course. Of course. You've been talking about it completely as if you're the one. Yeah. But Huang Po, a great master, I feel, said, hey, whatever can be perceived, that's whatever. Doesn't say on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. No, whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. Okay, so now the cart is put, the horse is put in front of the cart, where the cart wants to put the horse behind it. So the horse wants to be an attribute that the cart has, which it doesn't. Yeah? It doesn't. The horse is moving the cart, and you forget the horse, and you think the cart's moving itself. Yeah? So there's a confusion. So you want to, maybe, because it's not working for a lot of people this way. So they, instead of trying to keep using the cart to go in a different direction, which compounds the situation, maybe you can just see the cart isn't what's perceiving. Yeah, the cart isn't what's animated. It's not the animation. It's not the engine. Yeah. So by seeing what you're not, you'll get a sense of what you are. That's the only, really. It's weird. I don't know why. If you were anything other than what you are, then it would work other ways. You could have a hit of what you are as what you're not. You could. Yeah. But you're really not what you're not. Yeah. So it takes that out of the equation. If you were something other than what you are, then you could know what you are, maybe. I don't know. You would hope. You could understand it in some way. You could experience it, probably very rarely. But you could maybe have it, or you'd say you had an experience of it mostly. I don't know if you would even, whatever. So, yeah. But unfortunately, for what you're not that. See, you are that, which you're hoping to understand and know and experience. Again, you're calling for that to bring relief to this, as this. You're not hearing what you are. You're beseeching what you are from what you're not for what you're not. All the while being what you are. So if you stopped pinning all of your identity to that, maybe you would see you're not that. And then you would have another way of seeing what's happening that you can't seem to engineer for what you're not. You can't. You've been trying, I'm sure, all fucking day. Yeah? All right. The failed system is serving you and it's telling you it's failed. It won't work. Pull this, do that. Combine this, synthesize this. It's not helping. All right, but maybe see you're not that. Not as a way of out, but as just, hey, you're not that. And maybe there'll be at least a modicum of interest that will be lost in the pantomime of you trying to get relief for you as you. Yeah, maybe. I would, in my humble observation, that's what happens. And therefore, you'll get a larger hit about what you're not from what you are. That's all. Instead of wanting such a small hit of what you are for what you're not, you'll just see what you're not doing that, and the fundamental bogusness of it once again being demonstrated. Yeah? Self can't get out of self. It's one of the greatest statements in recovery. And then most times when you're listening to people who are trying to get out of something as them, basically that's the handcuffs they're in. The self trying to get out of self. It's not working. Yeah? It just won't. They're trying to save you time. A lot of people have been in that situation, and at least a few of them realized, hey, I can't get out of me as me. Yeah, so hopefully maybe I can see the difference of that, and maybe I am the seeing of me instead of me seeing. Yeah, maybe I'm the seeing of me, just like I'm a seeing of you. Yeah, instead of me seeing all the yous. I'm going to see the me, yeah? I'm going to see the me believing it's seeing everything else. I'm going to see it. I'm not, but there'll be a seeing of it. And so the whole story of it being the Alpha and Omega is blown out of the water when you see it from a before point. You thought this was the whole rim of the whole reality, and then yet there's a seeing of what believes it's the rim, the whole Alpha and the Omega. You seeing it, and it's obviously, it's got a spaciousness to notice what you're not. And I humbly believe wherever what or whenever what you're not arises, what will always precede it, and it doesn't just get out of its chair and run behind it or before it. It's always preceding it. It doesn't, it's not like what you are goes, oh, there it goes, and then what you not had a big experience gets open before. No, the seeing is contextual. Nothing can get before it. Yeah, you can't go any farther. So hopefully you'll see that what's now the complete center of attention is a point. Yes? A point in the content. Yeah? And yet, there's a seeing of that from context. Not a looking. Looking has been already commandeered by you. But seeing. Yeah? This got to have an impact sooner or later. I mean, sometimes the breadth of distance between what you are and what you're not is unbelievable. It's unimaginable. It's as if, that's why, let's say they say in the Course that God, our mind, doesn't even know this is going on. It can be so hard. All our little antics totally have absolutely no meaning whatsoever. They're not causing any tremors or the waves or anything like that. So, go to a tried and true method. If there's a you that's really gotten all the attention and interest, don't present that it's not you. Just fucking put it to work. Go out there. Binge. You got tomorrow. Fucking Stranger Things. 3rd season on Netflix. Very good science fiction. Watch that. Yeah. Let that attention and interest that's circling around the imaginary you get pulled out. So you get a little break. Yes? Yeah? But don't. The point is when all the attention and interest is coagulated on you, the idea of it, like pulling the idea that it's not that, it doesn't fucking work well. Just fucking go through the pantomime. It ain't you anyway. Get relief, however it is. Another day will go by. Things will work themselves out. And what seems so unbearable and the worst thing, after a few days, will lose a lot of its oomph. Yeah, it just does.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying to get distracted, which is
Definitely get distracted.
Really?
Fucking yeah. You got all the bloodhounds are out, sniffing at every fucking thing. You gotta send them off on a wild goose chase. Throw it out. Like in burlesque, they used to have a little routine. Send them around the corner for a half an hour, and then the two people have to hanky-panky. You know, you wanna send your fucking head around the corner for more than a half an hour. Yeah? Shit, yeah. You want it like glue. You gotta pull, you know? The attention is on it.
Yeah, that's escaping.
What?
I mean, it's like you could watch TV all day and escape it and never have to deal with anything.
That's an extreme. We're
I'm
talking
talking
about
that.
you're dying for relief, and now you're questioning the avenues. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I got a smell of something. So you think because of your introduction to non-duality, that would be showing something. Yeah?
What would you mean?
Helping the self.
Or distracting yourself.
Yeah, that's a
I'm trying
no-no.
not to do. I'm trying to like, okay, I'm just gonna go through the fire, but not turn on TV, just as an example. I'm not gonna turn on TV and try and pretend this isn't happening.
Oh, you're fucking crazy.
I agree.
Fucking get the relief. This isn't martyrdom. That's not winning you a gold star. This isn't like non-duality school.
Alright, but then would you tell someone to go take a drink or a drug so that
I would tell people in different situations probably different things. I don't have a rote answer. Yeah, you just follow the cues, but I know you're on the scent. You want to distract the bloodhounds. Yes, you do. Hey, Fido, over there. And then you get a little relief. Yeah. And then it also brought up your little non-duality puritanism, which is nice. Fuck that too. Really? Are you going to be totally bummed out holding on to a fucking conceptual idea that you're not that? You break. It's like the story with me in the sweat, and then years later I'm in another sweat. As soon as I felt hot, I got up and left. It was a perfect natural reaction. I'm hot, get up. You're not that. You're not that. You're not that through effort. You're not that.
Yeah, I think it's the effort.
Through effort you're not gonna be not that through effort. That's more of what you're not. You're not that, period. It doesn't matter if it's doing it in a sloppy fucking way or a very high level mindful way. It doesn't fucking really matter. Yeah, it doesn't. You're not that. Absolutely. So, let what you're not get fucking relief from itself instead of going into the pretzel making machinery of conceptual non-duality. I mean, it's just going to be a lot better for everyone. Yeah. Yeah. This isn't a religion or a creed. You haven't broken a law of non-duality. Non-duality is a fact prior to all this. Yeah? But when in Rome, you better do as the Romans do. You've just got a fucking edict from the Roman government. And what's the best thing to do is maybe distract you from that. Because if they're not distracted, they'll have a court date. They won't forget. It'll be nice for you two for a little while. Yeah? So they get a little fucking relief. You're not going to avoid it or deny it. You're going to go to court or whatever, and you're going to get whatever happens. You're not going to get out of it. Yeah? Why do you have to be so stoically in it? You know, for some weird idea. Yeah, so have something to eat tonight with us. Get back to where you are. If your mind's a little active, fucking put something on. Yeah. That's what I would do. Yeah. See, it's not you up the ass of self. See, in dualism, you play two roles. There's the objectness of self, so you're being reviewed and thought about, and then there's the self that's doing the reviewing and thinking about, which is playing the role of subject. They're both not what you are, both. Yeah? So the subjectness has the fucking, you know, the religious fucking moralitude, has its rigid fundamentalism. It's the one who likes to critique and do that. The object is sort of feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough or whatever. And they just play a little role with him, like, you know, the Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason or Lucy and Desi. They're, you know, they play, it's the same. Neither of them are you. Neither of them. Yeah? Whatever can be perceived or thought about or fucking reviewed or pictured, yes, or remembered isn't you. Yeah. Hawaiian Po gave us that nice ruler. Whatever can be perceived, whatever can be remembered, whatever can be this, whatever can be that, I would add on to it, is not you. Yeah. Does it mean it has no power here or no concerns? You better, hey, listen, when it has a concern, you better not try to philosophize it, really. It ain't gonna work. So just fucking send it around the corner for a half an hour, get a little relief, and in that relief, you may see things differently. Then when it comes back, you'll see, hey, it's not always here, because I just had some relief from it, yeah? Because the story will be, it's always on me, it's always this, it's not, yeah? So that would be my suggestion. An hour later, I may give you another suggestion, like, give me all your fries. Yeah, there you go, you laughed, that's good. Yes.
That's good.
Fucking watch Colbert or something, just laugh. I mean, if you've been in a day, if you've been seeing any news today, you gotta fucking have like a bowel movement at night by laughing. You gotta just fucking see some comic do a riff on it. You really do. You know what I mean? Because it could be, it's heavy, you know. Now, you know, it just can be too much for the action figure. When it has a little sense of belonging and a social feeling, and to see things going the way they may be going. So comedy is a great thing, you know. Yeah. So maybe I should give her the I Love Lucy's. You can watch I Love Lucy. He gave me a whole CD box.
Oh, yeah?
I'd be more than happy to give them to you if he doesn't mind. You can watch it.
Yeah, anything on YouTube.
Well, you can watch I Love Lucy. Yeah.
I like the Honeymooners, actually.
Huh?
I used to watch, my dad used to watch the Honeymooners.
There you go. Fucking to the moon, Alice. Yeah. Shit, maybe you'll just go to an imaginary moon for a little while. You'll feel a lot better.
I'd love to.
I was in, you know, are we recording this? We may not want to put this out to mass thing. But I spent, you know, I was in a hospital bed for like 10 months. You know, I'm very vague now because I wasn't really. I was dreaming. And it was a rude, you know, I was out one night and then got run over. It wasn't like I knew this was going to come and I could prepare or whatever, because you can't prepare for it anyway. And suddenly my world had stopped and I was just laying in a bed. And you better believe it would be good to have some fucking distraction then. Yes? Yes. I didn't have any philosophy saying, I've got to sit through this. No. Fucking, you know, yeah. But there was no fucking, they had a TV. It was nothing like it is now. So you basically, you had to just lay there and just lay there. totally powerless about how you felt or where you went or anything, you know, and not just for an hour or two, but for months and months. Yeah, so don't paralyze yourself with non-duality. Yeah, don't, you know. Here
It's
you.
like from a non-duality teacher.
What?
So that, I mean, it's ironic, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But most non-duality teachers don't say that.
I don't give it.
I love it. I get it.
Yes, I don't give a shit about most non-duality teachers. I'm not a teacher, I'm an inviter. I'm telling you. I don't have one sermon I preach every day. Someone comes into the chapel and is fucking, get them a pail of water, get them some fucking food. Yeah, just beat them over the head with an idea, you know. Take care of his concerns, and maybe, just maybe, he'll have an interest in hearing about something. I remember I used to see Ramesh Balsekar, I did see him, and he would do that every time. He was bored, I think, talking to most people, so if anyone new came in, he'd have them come in, and then he'd have start the thing with him or her, because he'd get them excited, I guess. And he would first always ask them, do you have a place to stay? Do you have food? And so that his basic needs are met, then we'll talk about it, yes? Yeah. If not, let's help the guy find a place or give him some fucking food now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. If that was non-duality, I wouldn't be interested in it. If non-duality shows no flexibility, why would it? It's just like, it's arthritic. It has no sap in the tree. Yeah? Now what it has done with, as a consequence being entertained here, and those expressions finding a way out by this, it has produced a traveling lighter, which its magnitude is unweighable, because it brings a lightness and replaces that need to find lightness. It brings a lightness to everything. Yes? It's beautiful, really. I mean, if you could weigh this gift of nothing, it would be the heaviest fucking gift. It would be so fucking heavy. Yeah? It would have so much worth. Yeah, so. If you're like this and the action figure's looking for a tool, the last one I would suggest is non-duality. Service, yes. Distraction, yes. It would work better than non-duality. Because the selfing is up, yeah? Because of fear and shame and guilt and consequences. And so its mitt is bigger, it's catching everything. Yeah? If you throw the ball of non-duality, it's going to catch it. It's not going to go to it anywhere. Yeah, because you're on. Yeah, you're on. The feeling of being the doer and this is on. It's like agitated because of this event. Yeah, by that its defenses is sort of like a fucking stealth field. Yeah, this is not the time to try to hear non-duality in a way, because you're trying to use it to try to get some, yes? It doesn't seem to, there's better tools, to tell you the truth, really. Netflix is a better tool. It is, in my humble opinion. So, yeah. Now, if you're sort of distracted and see a way of life that isn't too dramatic, and your basic needs are met, and a valid word in your life is enough, you're like chilled out, that's a nice field of openness. So then, because negation isn't denial. It's not like, I'm not that. It's, I'm not that, yeah? It's not denial. It's not like a wanting, I don't want this so I can have that. That doesn't, it's not that. It's inclusive. So you just, I'm not that, yeah? And it's big, big. And because you're not looking for anything. You see it when all that looking is dispersed, yeah? When you've ran out of looking, when you're clear these systems are failed, yeah? That tunnel vision, that constantly ratcheting down, that constantly focusing, suddenly just has a stopping, and then the seeing disperses, and then aha, yeah? Aha. Not this way, this way. Aha, and then you see all the mechanisms of what you're not. You see them. You see them not by one of their little telescopes, but by when all of them things are like put down, you're clear that you're not going to get it. You're clear. You're clear that how you are can't embrace this. You just get it, you know, actually how you're not. And in that, there's all that looking. Looking is like seeing directed in time, you know. It's a blindness to the seeing, really it is, I feel. So when it happens, then suddenly there's it's if the aperture was like a sphincter muscle, the sphincter muscle loosens, and then yeah, and then what you see in that is what you're not. You see what was being described about what you thought was you was a description of what you're not. That's when it hits, yeah? And then you realize the only thing that can be described is what I'm not. There's no possibility of a description of what I am. There's none. You can't describe what you are. You can only be it, yeah? And then, I don't know, maybe you meet what you're not and what's going on here with an acceptance at first. Yeah, the first little contact isn't, you know, trying to make it something, avoid. It's an acceptance, and then maybe there's a moving away, who knows? But the contact is acceptance. Now, you can't do that as an act or an effort, but it can be expressed, yeah. It can be an expression of acceptance. So you're not, like we say in AA, you're not fighting anyone or anything, yeah? Because you've seen the futility of it, basically, I feel, yeah? You've really seen the failedness of the systems. You've really seen the hallucinatory influence of time, how time changes, how everything is seen, yeah? It's like a dry current no one's recognizing. It has such a huge, and it's us. It's us entertaining an idea of time, yeah? It's blowing a lot of smoke, a huge amount of smoke. You see it, you know, you see it. Do you rush to try to know it? No, you just see it. See it is more than enough, yeah? A slight seeing of it, that you don't have to get totally engaged as a topic. You just see it, and it tells you what it is, which is it's a failed mechanism for what you are to arrive at what you are, because there's no arriving at what you are, yeah? So you get weaned off of all the fucking tools. And this is a tool. This is a tool. This is a tool of knowing, a repository of experience. This is a ride. You stop trying to get off the ride as the ride. You just see you're not. Yeah? And then you'll deal with what comes up. You know how many times I was arrested? Tons of times, more than 25, 30 times. I was shot at. 3 bullets in the car. I've been threatened with at least 5 to 8 years. Was the logical projection of what was going to happen to me when I was 17 years old. At least for 5 major charges. Yeah? I mean, you're gonna live through this. It's just that fucking simple. Yeah? And what you may think it's going to be used for, if you can surrender it, it will be used for something else, which is dreaming oneself out of the dreaming. Yeah? So, don't be so sure of how bad you think it is, or what it is, or where it's going to end up, because you have no idea. You may meet people on the bus you would have never met when you were driving a car. Tons of things. Don't freaking... This is a kaleidoscopic event. Don't put a little fucking, viewing room in it. Stick it in there with, the walls of I know. Yeah. So, non-duality is a fact, just not to. What I ran into entertaining that fact was the stubbornness of the act of being identified as what I wasn't. I had no idea, really. I didn't. And all the stuff I had been doing, the practices never led me to having an idea about that. I heard about it through non-duality. I got a sense of it, yeah? That there's something going on that's so close to me that it's always where I am at all times, and it's the obscuring factor. And basically you have to arrive at it's me, and then you go to and it's not. Yeah? It's me and it's not. It can't be not me, it's me and it's not. Yeah? That's how it goes. And so now that me that you were denying and avoiding or trying to do this and that, you let it be all that it is, and it will show you it's not you. Yeah? There's just millions of yous bouncing around. All crown me running around. And not one of us is one of them. Yeah. So, yeah. But if you try to use it to, I don't see it working. So it's just a fact. Bleeds from here out, not from out in. Yeah, it gets into the system. Hopefully it goes somewhere else other than what you think the system is, like you want to call it the innermost, we say in AA, or somewhere else. And then something happens and there's a triggering, like the egg mother gets the sperm, the egg conceives an idea, I'm not that. And then it conceives another idea, I can be free from it. And really, in a sense, it can be free as it, not as it, but as it. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? So you see you're not that, but then you can somewhat be free as it by seeing you're not that. Yeah? Yeah. But not free as it. Yeah? Not you, but free as it. Yeah? Hope you're getting it, yes? It's a little flavor. But this can, what's appearing and what isn't, there's no demarcation, What we are is always available at all times, right where we are. No requirement necessary. You can't escape from everywhere. Yeah? So, yeah. It can appear in a sense of being free as this, not being this, The freedom may not look like glorious, but it may be, hey, I'm free, to be available to people. I'm free, to see that flower, or watch the hummingbirds, or check out the cat, or, sense Amelia's condition, or whatever, I'm free. Where before, I wasn't free to do much, except wanting to get out, Yeah. Yeah. And then you can feel it right now. I feel it. I feel that space. It's pounding, really. Can you imagine something that can't be sensed overriding all your sense experience? Pretty cool. Yeah. Something that can't be sensed overrides all your sense experiences. Like the silence becomes more dominant than the seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. Yeah. Like a basis every day. Yeah? You're always in a safe place, Joyce, here. Yes, as we all are. There's no correct way to entertain non-duality. Just, it'll do what it does. You'll have your own little dance. Yeah, and yeah. You don't have to try to mimic other people's dance. And remember the old story that people would see a saint and the saint would do all this shit, so they devised a path by all that he did with the hopes that if I did everything he did, I would arrive where he was. But what he was doing was an expression of where he was. He never got there from those. They were expressing where he was, yeah? You can't use the same steps to go back to. It doesn't work that way.
You mean like Nisargadatta students starting to smoke?
Yeah, and all that stuff, exactly. You know what I mean?
They did.
You know, it's just weird things. Yeah, it's like the old Walmart story. Toaster falls on the person's head and they wake up like October 11th. So everyone goes and has the toaster drop on their head with the hope so. It could have been anything. It didn't. It wasn't the event. Yeah. 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 So, all right. Well, good to see everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, turn the light on.
No, that's why we can.
We don't want that to listen. Anyway, so.
All right. Well, let's pass the basket. Is that it? I'm gonna shut that off. I'm done. I know I'm done.